It put skateboarding on the map.
100%. But I'm just like, I'm wondering, like, when you were in the game, I mean, you were already like famous, obviously, but that must have changed a lot too, just you being in the game, or added to it. Maybe.
You'd be surprised, like, let's say I'm dating a girl in high school and we're having dinner with the parents, meet the parents for the first time, and you tell my boyfriend's a skateboarder, they're automatically like, oh God, you're going to date this guy who's going to go nowhere in life. But as soon as you tell them that you ride for Nike or you're in the Tony Hawk video game, their whole attitude changes. Oh my God, you ride for Nike so you can just get free shoes whenever you want? Yeah.
Well, you were like,
and they pay you? Yeah, how much? $5,000 a month. You're getting $5,000 a month at the age of 16. All right, he's a keeper.
Yeah. I mean, that was you were like almost the first person on Nike, right? You were like,
Remy Stratton from Volcom became the team manager of something that wasn't even Nike SB yet. It was just, let's have Nike try out to see if it's going to work with skateboarding. So they made their own shoes and whatever, and I was the first person he called to put on, and then after that was Choppy Omega, Sergi Ventura, and then a couple of us others. But
it's a lot different Nike team than it is now. Holy shit!
And man, those Nike prototypes back then, I'm sure if they were even available online on eBay or something, they would go for $5,000.
But they weren't that good though, were they?
No, I actually was taping the Nike logo to SSLs because they were hurting my feet at one point. We didn't get it right.
No but how funny is that?
Yeah, I know.
Did they ever notice that at all?
I think towards the end they zoomed in on me doing there was this little bump at a California school. Yeah,
those are the first Nikes, right?
Yeah. And they were, you know what? It's not that they were fucking 9s and I'm size 10.5. So I just, because they were samples, so I just squeezed my foot in there and I started getting blisters. So
wait, is that an air bubble in there?
Yeah, like 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I've never seen one in the middle like that.
And then they called
They
it,
are
right?
sick looking.
Yeah. They called it on the team though, eventually, right?
Eventually,
first iteration was like, okay, this isn't
I
working
think because skaters back then were so like diehard, like, what? We're not going to let Nike in on our skateboard thing. We
Corpo's coming in. Yeah.
We are Spitfire. We are independent, and we are anti-hero, and we anti any Nike bullshit or Reebok or Adidas or any of this shit.
But you didn't feel any of that, though, did you?
Not really. No.
Yeah.
It took a while for them to kind of get in the game, but at the same time, they were seeding and trying to get their little.
Remember Consolidated make those dunks, the banana dunks?
Yeah,
trying to shit on them. I was like, people were not happy with Nike coming in at first.
Yeah, no.
Right. Were the checks good at that point for Nike?
It started off as $5,000 a month, which was really, really good at the time because I wasn't really getting anything at all except free stuff from Toy Machine and Spitfire and whatever. But to get any money at all, that was a huge amount. Yeah. Only to, it was really weird because I remember, I grew up across the street from a sewer factory. So, I was always like busted on in school at whatever. The house wasn't that big or anything. So I remember my dad was talking about how we were going to lose the house if we didn't cough up $40,000 to pay off whatever. So I did everything I could to try to pay off the house because I didn't know if we're in this crappy house and we don't have this house, then where the fuck are we going to go? So I made CKY2K, which sold 1 million copies through word of mouth, and that solved that.
Who was distributing that back then?
Back then it was whoever 411 was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Giant Distribution?
It was Giant Distribution, but it
yeah.
was called something different. I can't think about now, but they were real honest with the paperwork. We did it with Tom Yetto in the beginning, and I remember they were like, yeah, it's only sold in America. I'm like, really? Because I just came from Iceland, and here's a copy that is in PAL format, which means that you're printing. So then I did an audit and found out that they owed whatever. Yeah.
That video's amazing.
That saved your house.
Yeah,
the CKY
for sure.
Damn. What a fucking iconic video, too.
Yeah, and to go from a shitty 89 Buick Regal that my aunt gave me for free that I painted a giant misfit skull on the hood, pulling up to my girlfriend's house, whose her dad owned a Chevrolet dealership. So they had a nice big house, and, I could already tell that they weren't fond of my
Buick
ass.
rolling up.
But from a Buick, I went straight from a red Ferrari Medina. So 89 Buick Regal with a Misfit skull on, straight to a fucking Ferrari Medina.
I'm picturing a Navy Buick also. Some type of...
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was your first... You bought the Ferrari... That was your first big purchase, a Ferrari?
Yeah. Well, in between was like this black 84 Honda Accord for like a really quick moment.
Okay.
And
you drove those spots? You went skating the Ferrari? Like you pull up to like Love Park with that?
Yeah, and it didn't really go too well.
What did they think? What did they think?
I don't know.
I didn't think anything of it at the time, except that's my car. So, like, to pull up to FDR, in a red Ferrari, I'm looking at it now. It's like all these dudes are skating just as hard as I am, and they're pulling up in, like, shit that is backfiring with a donut tire and fucking duct tape as the side
Buck's
window.
car.
That. And then I just pull up right next to it. It's, I can see in their mind, like, I didn't do anything wrong to them or talk shit on them, but it's just kind of like, fucking dickhead, who's he think he is, Yeah. Now that I look at it at the big picture, but at the time, I didn't
Just
know.
gonna go skate FDR.
Yeah.
I just got my dream car.
I know.
And just having that car, to park it anywhere, you're constantly worried about it, and you're constantly, wondering, oh man, the Lamborghini Murcielago convertible, because it's a convertible, always worried about it. I would pull up to that thing, there would be fucking frappuccinos on the seat that people would throw in it, just because, haters are going to hate.
Yeah.
When you're not in Hollywood, and people had to grow up with you knowing that you're the kid who grew up across the street from the sewer factory, and blah, 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 and not invited to any of the high school parties. And all of a sudden, every girl from school wants to date you just because you're on MTV. And now that you have a Ferrari and you see this whole big, you get a lot of haters. And the more followers you get, you're going to get more haters. The more fans you get, you're going to get more haters.